and I will present you a few details about the General Assembly for those of you who could not attend the GA preparation meeting. So the definition of the General Assembly, it is the highest authority and decision-making body of EPSA. It consists of a meeting of the members organized according to torso, this meeting. About quorum and voting privileges, we will talk later on when we will say who has voting privileges and if the quorum is met. We will have, during this General Assembly, a chairperson that, according to our regulations, will be accepted by the General Assembly. We will have facilitators that the PC members are proposed to facilitate, and this decision will also be approved by the General Assembly. We will have a secretary of the meeting, and you will see more after the mock GA. When live GAs happen, we also have scrutineers. We don't need scrutineers now to distribute voting cards and pass microphones. And we will have meeting secretaries to help recording and minuting. Okay, as I said, the Parliamentary Council members are facilitators, and the parliamentarian also assists the chairperson in interpretation of torso, and also the parliamentarian is the chairperson of elections. And the Parliamentary Council members act as a motions committee, and the deadline to submit motions is Friday, the 16th of April, and you have the documents to submit motions in the GA package. Okay, how will we communicate? We will communicate by typing "eyes" in the chat when we have new points to bring a new comment to the discussion. 2 eyes when we directly reply to something that someone said before us. I will ask you if your directs are still directs, so you can get used to this. We use 3 eyes when you have technicality, like you can't hear me, you can't see something on the presentation, stuff like that. A clarification is used when you need an information because you feel that the discussion is going circles and you need an information that could help you bring some input. A point of information is mainly the answer to that clarification, and it helps bring information and move the discussion in a certain direction. You can also say jokes, but not too often. Okay, what do you do if you agree or disagree with something, what you just did? You type an I in the chat or an N, or pluses or minuses. This is the priority order of speaking symbols. Okay, when do you talk? When the chairperson or facilitator gives you the speaking rights, and before you speak, you have to state your name and association or status. Try and not repeat what previous people said. If you agree or disagree, just type in the chat. Procedure motions are a way to help you control the discussion, and you can find them in the Standing Orders Article 9. They may be heard at all times. You can then type their number in the chat at any time. They have to be seconded right away, and after the person speaking finishes, they will be taken into consideration, so we do not interrupt. The most frequently used procedural motions are 9.3, as you might be aware, to close the floor for discussion. But keep in mind that if there are no points on the speaking list, the chairperson can also close the floor for discussion, and we will save some time because every procedural motion has to be voted. 9.4 to reconsider a motion, 9.6 motion lies on the table until a specified deadline, and 9.15 to vote on motion in parts. How do you vote? Well, not by raising your voting card or by secret ballot. We will have two types of voting procedures by typing for, against, or abstain in the chat, and voting over Nemo vote. We switched from Google Forms to Nemo vote as we investigated a better option to vote secretly, and some of you might already be used to Nemo vote, and it is quite a great platform to use. So, when is a motion carried? It depends on the majority that it requires. It could require simple majority, as most of them do. That means more vote in favor than against, and abstentions do not count. So we have here an example, 20 people for, 4 people against, and 3 abstentions. Abstentions will not count. We have 24 votes. 20 is more votes than for against. Absolute majority when 50% of all votes are in favor. So abstentions do count. There are 13 votes for, 7 against, and 7 abstentions. If we add up 7 with 7, there are 14. 13 is less than 14, so the motion is not carried. PC will help with saying if a motion is carried or not, but you should know how it is done. We also have 2/3 majority. The number of votes in favor is at least double the number of votes against, and abstentions do not count. Let's have our first open vote procedure for practice. And before that, I would like, I will read the motion. The 61st EPSA General Assembly mandates that the 44th EPSA Annual Congress shall be organized in the EPSA House. I open the floor for discussion. CzPSA?
Kathy, KPSV, the Netherlands. We are against this motion because the EPSA House is way too small to host an annual congress, and thereby there will not be enough space to host all the people.
Thank you. I see agreement and no more points on the speaking list. Mihai with a technical?
Mihai, President, I close the floor for discussion on the motion.
Thank you. Now I will draw a line in the chat and please vote for, against, or abstain. Okay, there are 27 votes for and against, and 1 for, no abstention, but this doesn't add up to the number of voting members. We will keep it this way because I forgot to mention that only ordinary members with voting rights should vote. But you got the idea on how to vote. Okay, moving on, the motion was not carried. Moving on to the next motion. The 61st EPSA General Assembly mandates Dylan Burke, EPSA Treasurer 2020-2021, to issue a €2 fine to every person that forgets to state their name and association when requesting speaking rights. All fines not paid by the end of the 61st EPSA General Assembly shall be added to the debtors list. I open the floor for discussion. Mihai, President.
Mihai, President, in the executive's opinion, this is a very sensitive matter, so we would like to ask the General Assembly to consider a secret vote on this motion.
APEF?
Lucian APEF, Portugal. APEF agrees with this motion because people must bear in mind the role of the General Assembly and also to facilitate the minutes.
Thank you. KNPSV?
At the KPC Netherlands, although we agree that it is of great importance that everyone states their name and association, it will be a huge workload for Dylan to note everyone that doesn't state their name nor association, and therefore it will be very hard for him to find every person and also add them to the debtors list. So therefore we are not for this motion. Thank you.
Thank you. I see general agreement. Mihai with a technical.
Mihai, President, I close the floor for discussion.
Thank you. Now I will create a vote. And I will, I have the emails of, yes, Maeva?
Do you want me to start the roll call now? Yes. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, hello everyone. Nice to see you on this lovely evening or afternoon. In my position of Assistant SecGen, I will perform this roll call to know if we have members with voting right present before starting this secret voting procedure. I will just ask you to type a Y in the chat when you hear your association name after the line that PC just drawn. Thank you. Okay, AFOP Austria, VFSO Belgium, BPHSA Bulgaria, CPSA Croatia, CzPSA Cyprus, USF Czech Republic, TURS Estonia, FIPSA Finland, ANEP France, BPHD Germany, GPSF Greece, EPSA Ireland, MPSA North Macedonia, K.N.P.S.V. the Netherlands, NOPSA Norway, PPSA Poland, APEF Portugal, FASEFER Romania, NAPSER Serbia, SPSA Slovakia, CzPSA Slovenia, FEF Spain, SNAP Sweden, ASEP Switzerland, EPSA International Turkey, and BPSA United Kingdom.
Thank you. While we check the number of voters, you have all received emails with the credentials to use Nemo Vote and access to this motion.
I have 23 members with voting right present. You can proceed, Bianca.
Thank you. Votes are coming in, and we can see who did not vote yet. So if you have any issues, just tell me. FSFD?
Miruna FSFD Romania, neither me or the other OD for FSFD received anything about.
Okay, I will check if the email address is correct. CzPSA?
George, CzPSA Grace. Neither did I receive anything in my email address.
Shifty Lithuania?
Hi, sorry, I am from Lithuania, but I haven't received anything too.
Okay, thank you. I will guess that all the technicals want to say the same thing. CzPSA?
Michaela, CzPSA Slovakia, we have the same problem as the other LSs.
Okay, so CzPSA?
Hannah, CzPSA Croatia. I just have to say that I got my email, but it was in the promotions part of Gmail, so maybe everybody got it there. I don't know.
Thank you. Could you all please also check the spam folder and any other folders and see if you actually got the email? I will check the emails list and see if everything is in order, so that for further voting procedures, the other OD couldn't get the email because I only send it to the LSs to make sure that it's only one vote per association. Okay, I will close the voting procedure now. I am able to see that now we have 3 votes in favor, 9 against. So the motion was not carried, and some votes were not received. So I will check again the list, and we'll send you again the credentials. And also, if you don't get it in after this session of the GA, contact me to see if everything is in order. Okay, and I have a technical from FSFD to try and send the link on the Telegram channel. CzPSA found their email in spam, and I have a new point from Berti, which please change your name to state your status. And
I'm very sorry, that was a typo from my part.
okay, not to lose any more time, we can proceed to the opening of the 61st EPSA General Assembly, and I will give the chair and facilitation to Mihai, the president.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 61st EPSA General Assembly. Unfortunately, we meet again in an online environment. I dearly hope this is the last time we have a General Assembly in this format, and that for the next GAs we will be able to be all together in the same room and have this in a live format. With this, I would like to officially say that I am opening the 61st EPSA General Assembly. For this point, I would like to give the floor to Maeva to tell us exactly how many credential forms we have received for this GA.
Hello again. So for this GA, I received 33 credential forms from EPSA members.
Thank you very much, Maeva. And with this, we can proceed. Next point on the agenda is about voting right and membership matters. And if we could go to the next slide, I will pass the floor to Maeva to perform the first roll call of this GA.
Okay, I thought I did before, but not. AFOP Austria, VFSO Belgium, SAFPUM Bosnia-Herzegovina, BPHSC Bulgaria, CPSA Croatia, CzPSA Cyprus, USF Czech Republic, TERS Estonia, FIPSA Finland, ANEP France, BPHD Germany, GPSF Greece, EPSA Ireland, MPSA North Macedonia, K.N.P.S.V. the Netherlands, NOPSA Norway, PPSA Poland, APEF Portugal, FASEFER Romania, NAPSER Serbia, SPSA Slovakia, CzPSA Slovenia, FEF Spain, SNAP Sweden, ASEP Switzerland, EPSA International Turkey, and BPSA United Kingdom.
Yes, Maeva?
I will please ask the official delegates named Victory to maybe rename themselves so we know which association they're representing, please. I have 25 members with voting rights present.
Thank you, Maeva. And on this, we can move on to appointments. First order of the agenda is the chairperson. So then I will proceed to read the motion. The 61st EPSA General Assembly appoints the EPSA President Mihai Aniță as the chairperson of the 61st EPSA General Assembly. I open the floor for discussions. Since I see no points being raised, I close the floor for discussion and we shall proceed to the voting procedure. Please vote for, against, or abstain in the chat. Okay, we have 24 votes for, none against, no abstentions, and we have 24 voting members present in the room, not 25. Victory instead of renaming themselves at the room. Motion was carried, and we shall proceed to the next motion. I will read the motion and then I will give the floor. The motion reads as following. The 61st EPSA General Assembly appoints Maeva Olga Dalmeida as secretary for the 61st EPSA General Assembly. I open the floor for discussion and I'll give the word to KPSA.
Kati KPSA Netherlands. I had a question about the voting or the member association with voting rights, because we will actually discuss the finances tomorrow, but if you do not pay your membership fee, you are not allowed to have voting rights. So I was wondering if this was taken account when making the list of associations with voting rights.
Mihai President, indeed this was taken into account, and to the best of my knowledge, all the voting members have paid their membership fees. So everything is in order. There are two conditions to receive voting rights: to submit the LS report and to pay the membership. Any other comments on the motion? I see none, so in that case I close the floor for discussion and we shall proceed to the voting procedure. Please cast your vote for, against, or abstain in the chat. I'm waiting for another 2 votes. At the moment, we currently have only 22. One is still missing. Still missing 1 vote. We will not proceed until we get it. If we don't get it, we'll have another roll. We have 24. Please give us a second to make sure there are no duplicates, and then we'll be announcing the results. Oh, sorry, we have 23. I saw the line and I thought that was a vote. So we have 23 votes for. In this scenario, I'll be suspending the standing orders, resuming, and we'll have another roll call, how many votes we have. In case this happens 2 times in a row, this will be the same procedure all the time and will be unfortunately delayed. So in that scenario, I suspend the standing orders And then I resume the standing orders. May I have please perform the roll call?
Okay, let's go. I have AF Austria, VFSO Belgium, BPHSA Bulgaria, CPSA Croatia, CzPSA Cyprus, TURS Estonia, FIPSA Finland, ANEP France, BPHD Germany, GPSF Greece, MPSA North Macedonia, K.N.P.S.D Netherlands, K.N.P.S.V the Netherlands, NOPSA Norway, PPSA Poland, APEF Portugal, FASEFERI Romania, NAPSER Serbia, SPSA Slovakia, CzPSA Slovenia, FEF Spain, SNAP Sweden, ASEP Switzerland, EPSA International Turkey, and BPSA United Kingdom. I have 24 voting members present.
Thank you, Maeva. And on this, we shall proceed to the next motion. Before we go on, every time we'll have two motions with not the number of voters we should have, it will be happening. So please pay attention and please be responsible. Motion reads as following. The 61st EPSA General Assembly appoints Bianca Tudor, Eline Tilen, and Tera Gruda as facilitators for the 61st EPSA General Assembly. I open the floor for discussion. I see no comments, so I close the floor for discussion, and we shall proceed to the voting procedure. Under the line, please cast vote for, against, or abstain on the motion. We have 20 votes for, none against, no abstentions, and I will pass the facilitation to PC.
Thank you. We will now move on to the next point on the agenda, that is appointing scrutineers. With this, because we will not have scrutineers, the motion is the 61st EPSA General Assembly suspends Article 4.2 of the standing orders for the duration of the 61st EPSA General Assembly. I open the floor for discussion. Mihai?
Mihai, President, just as Bianca stated, in an online environment, there is absolutely no use for scrutineers. We don't have microphones to pass in the room or voting ballots to collect, so this is the motivation behind the motion.
Mihai, with the technical?
Mihai, President, I close the floor for discussion.
Thank you. I will now draw a line in the chat. Please vote for, against, or abstain. Thank you. We have 24 votes for, none against, no abstention. Motion was carried. Next, we will have the motion to approve meeting secretaries. The motion says, the 61st EPSA General Assembly accepts Marlene Steininger, Kaloyan Staikov, Oana Ciobanu as meeting secretaries for the 61st EPSA General Assembly. By this, Article 4.5 of the standing orders shall be suspended for the duration of the 61st EPSA General Assembly. Mihai?
Mihai, President, with this, I would like to thank the meeting secretaries for taking on the duty and for assisting us with taking notes during the General Assembly itself. As you all know, at the moment we have no Secretary General, and their help is priceless. Without them, it would be much, much harder to put together the minutes.
Mihai?
Mihai, President, and I forgot to mention one short thing. We are suspending Article 4.5 in order to allow Oana Ciobanu to be one of the meeting secretaries, since Article 4.5 prohibits EPSA team members in taking this role.
As a point of information to what Mihai said, EPSA officials are also forbidden to be meeting secretaries, so this also allows Marlena and Kaloyan. Mihai, with the technical?
Mihai, President, I call the floor for discussion.
Thank you. Now I'll ask you to type for, against, or abstain in the chat. Thank you. We have 24 votes for, none against, no abstention. Motion was carried. Now we can move on to the next point on the agenda, adoption of the minutes of the 59th EPSA General Assembly. The 61st EPSA General Assembly adopts the minutes of the 59th EPSA General Assembly. I open the floor for discussion. Mihai?
Mihai, President, we have received quite a few comments and amendments to the minutes. I would like to propose an amendment to the motion to say adopts the minutes of the 59th EPSA General Assembly with the proposed comments, let's say.
TNPSV?
CzPSA Netherlands. This was a comment about both minutes included in the GA package, because I was very content to see that the minutes of the last two GAs were included. But when checking the minutes, I actually found quite a lot of errors, and it's understandable that without a Secretary General, it's very hard to finish them in time and also check them another time to see if there are errors. And that, of course, the content of the minutes themselves is more important than the correct spelling. But the minutes are also, or they will be saved in the archive, so it's quite essential and good to have them checked. And if you do not have time to do this as executive, that's completely understandable without a Secretary General, but please then contact other people, contact officials, contact LSs, because it's better to eventually have it done by other people that will help, because some LSs will definitely just go through the whole GA package, including the minutes, and for them it's not that much of an effort, and if they want to help, that would be great. It's better to have something eventually done good or well than not having it done. So please, next time, reach out to others. Thank you.
Thank you. Afop?
Marlene of Austria. Just wondering, because of the agenda, shouldn't we have also acknowledgement of observers and then changes to the agenda and adoption of the agenda?
Mihai?
Mihai, President, that was a little scoring error, but let's finish the motion for now, and then of course we can go back and also set the agenda. Thank you very much for pointing it out.
Mihai?
Mihai, President, another thing worth mentioning here is the great amount of help we have received from Marlene, the LSO of Austria. Of course, we had a lot of team members, and we also had Eva Shannon Schiffer, working on the minutes and helping with the smaller part, but Marlene wrote basically all the elections and helped with even the online LS meetings and the OEM and everything else. So on behalf of the executive, thank you very much for your assistance.
Mihai?
Mihai, President, I close the floor for discussion.
Thank you. Now please type for, against, or abstain in the chat. We have 24 votes. 24 votes for, none against, no abstention. Motion was carried. And now please forgive me for scrolling too much. We have the point of acknowledgement of observers and short introductions. Mihai?
Mihai, President, we have some external associations accepting our invitation to join our General Assembly. I would like to invite them to take the floor and give us a few words.
IPSF Euro?
Hello everyone, my name is Bram Wagner. I'm the chairperson of IPSF Euro. I hope you will have fruitful discussions during this GA. I have also brought with me Ms. Ryan Abdelhadi. She is the chairperson of external relations, and if you will allow her, she will also briefly introduce herself. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ryan. I'm from Algeria and serving currently as IPSF External Relations Chairperson. I'm so glad to be here with you today and hoping I wish you a fruitful General Assembly. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I have EPSA.
Hi everyone, I'm Umut from EPSA, Youth Medical Students Association. I'm the student organization liaison officer attending here, and I wish you a nice and fruitful assembly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I guess that was all. Moving on to changes to the agenda. Mihai?
Mihai, President, first of all, I would like to announce that we will have reopenings for the elections in the second weekend. So for that, I would like to add another point in G8, so Saturday on 17th of April, before we start with reports, we'll be having elections and we'll be reopening the call with vacant positions. And after that, I would like to also add another point for some regulation changes for the terms of reference. We had a meeting with some alumni, we discussed, and we would like to split the regulation changes we have proposed and maybe to make some amendments to some of them in the second weekend. So this would be the two changes proposed from our side. 2 new points on 17th of April at 10:30 a.m.
Thank you. Let's proceed to adoption of the agenda. The 61st EPSA General Assembly adopts the proposed agenda for the 61st EPSA General Assembly. I open the floor for discussion. Oh. Mihai?
Mihai, President, I close the floor for discussion.
Thank you. Now please type for, against, or abstain in the chat. We have 23 votes for, still waiting for one. Thank you. We have 24 votes for, none against, no abstention. And I will also, okay, this is written. Next, we have adoption of the minutes of the 60th EPSA General Assembly. The 61st EPSA General Assembly adopts the minutes of the 60th EPSA General Assembly. I open the floor for discussion. Afop?
Malina Afop Austria, I just wanted to say that there is something missing or something wrong as a typo, but I can't really change it or propose how it will be changed because the live stream, when I watched it back, cut out. So I don't know how to change it or what to say about it. But it says that Mihai contacted EPSA, so Ireland, for the registrations in Brussels, and I'm pretty sure that's not the right association.
Mihai?
Mihai, President, I am quite sure we were discussing with VFSO and not with EPSA Ireland, so VFSO Belgium. Oh no, EPSA, yes, thank you very much, yes, International Veterinary Students Association as part of IFISO. Yes, you are right, thank you very much.
Mihai?
Mihai, President, I would like to propose to amend the motion just like we did for the 59th and also see with the proposed suggestions, comments, just like we did before, please.
Mihai?
Mihai, President, I close the floor for discussion.
Thank you. I will now ask you to type for, against, or abstain in the chat. We have 24 votes for, none against, no abstention. The motion was carried. Next, we can move on to representation fund reports. Erasmus KA2 Project ready to get funded. The 61st EPSA General Assembly accepts the representation fund report from the Erasmus Plus KA2 Project ready to get funded. I open the floor for discussion. CzPSA?
Nate, CzPSA Slovenia. Hello, everyone. I have a question. In this report, there is also mentioned is a project centered around soft skills training. Are there any updates in regards to that? Maybe. Thank you.
Mihai?
Mihai, President, based on that, we had a discussion during the 30 meeting and we proceeded to collect feedback over email. We didn't have that many ideas, but in the meanwhile, we are also waiting to see what is going to happen with the KA3 grant we are usually getting. And based on the next system of runs they will have, we will see exactly how that can be integrated or not.
Mihai?
Mihai, President, I close the floor for discussion.
Thank you. I will now ask you to type in the chat for, against, or abstain. We have 23 votes. Okay, 24 votes for, none against, no abstention. Motion was carried. Mihai with the technical.
Mihai, President, so given the fact that a few of you had problems with finding the email from NemoVote and everything, I would like to ask now, is there any member association that still does not have the login credentials for NemoVote? If I do not see anyone saying anything in the chat, I will assume all of you have it and we will proceed as normal with the agenda. If not, we'll take a 15-minute break to sort that out. Last chance, anyone that doesn't have the credential over email.
CzPSA?
Michaela, SPSA Slovakia, we still didn't receive anything.
FSFR?
Miruna, FSFR Romania, we have the same problem.
Please type a plus in the chat if you have the same problem, but only DLS. And I will send again the credential and check with you personally to see if you got it during these 15 minutes. Everybody that did not receive their credentials, please type a plus in the chat and I will send them again and personally check if you received them, so I know who to focus on. I guess we only have CzPSA, FSFR, and EPSA International. Mihai?
Mihai, President, then we will be taking a break and we will be back at 6:45. Maeva, please perform the roll call.
AFOP Austria, VFSO Belgium, BPHSA Bulgaria, CPSA Croatia, CzPSA Cyprus, TURS Estonia, FIPSA Finland, ANEP France, BPHD Germany, GPSF Greece, MPSA North Macedonia, K.N.P.S.V. the Netherlands, NOPSA Norway, PPSA Poland, APEF Portugal, FASFR Romania, NAPSR Serbia, SPSA Slovakia, CzPSA Slovenia, FEF Spain, SNAP Sweden, ASEP Switzerland, EPSA International Turkey, and BPSA United Kingdom. I have 24 voting members.
And I suspend the standing orders.